Have you ever heard of something called swallowing the frog? I want to share that with you today. It's something that I've actually been practicing with my daughter. So she's only 7 years old, and she loves hearing about the kind of mindset tools that we share with our clients. And so the other day I said to her, okay, get out your homework. So she had various pieces of homework to do, and I said, I'm going to teach you how to swallow the frog. And she was like, oh, mummy, I don't want to swallow a frog. And I was like, no, you're not actually literally going to swallow a frog. I'm going to teach you how to do it through your homework. So as she picked out the different pieces of homework that she had to do, I said, okay, tell me what's the hardest piece of homework. And she said, oh, writing sentences. She hates writing sentences. And so I said, okay, then do that one first. And she said, no, that's the one I hate. I said, yeah, but if you leave it to the last, you're not going to enjoy it as much. So if you do the hardest thing first, which is called swallowing the frog, you'll feel better and you'll feel a greater sense of achievement because you pushed yourself in a good way, and then the rest of the homework will feel much easier. And so she said, okay, I'm going to swallow the frog. So she did it. She did the writing the sentences first, and then she felt better. And then I noticed that as she did the rest of the homework, she did it unsupervised. You know, she wasn't asking me for things. She felt good within herself. Her confidence levels have gone up. And it isn't a strategy you can just use with children. I'm just giving you an example of how I use it with my daughter recently. But actually, we can do the same things in the workplace as well. Right now, we're in this weird world where we have this, what we call a comfort crisis, where the things that actually we should stretch ourselves in, we take comfortable solutions in. And the things that actually that don't actually help us, that don't stretch us in the right way. So for example, many people feel really overworked, therefore they feel their lives are really hard, so then they seek comfort in other ways. But actually the way to build resilience is not to persist or to have grit, although those things are fine. It's really about learning to stretch yourself in the right way. It's about learning to do the right kind of hard things. And it's all about just small things that we can do, the micro things, because they're the things that add up. So things like swallowing the frog, you know, doing the hardest thing first in the day. If you've got like 3 or 4 tasks and one of them is going to require a bit more brain power or something to do with a bit more strategic thinking, or it's just something that you find a bit harder, actually if you do that first, you'll feel a greater sense of achievement and you'll stretch your capacity in the right way. I think right now we're stretching people in ways in organizations that aren't necessarily stretching them in the right way. And that actually leads to lower engagement and lower levels of productivity. And that's what we're seeing in all the statistics. So next time, try swallowing the frog and seeing how that goes.